Before you watch the video, check out IP Vanish, the best VPN out there. There's so many fans out there that want to watch different games. Today, for example, it was a 3 o'clock kickoff. You wouldn't have been able to watch it, okay, unless you had a VPN in the UK. So check out IP Vanish. There is a link below. There's also a QR code on screen as well. It makes your life better. It gives you access to all the games that you would have never been able to watch otherwise. And enjoy the rest of the video. Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. We are outside Stamford Bridge after a 2-1 loss against Sunderland in the Premier League. This was not one we were expecting, especially not in the way that we ended up losing the game. You know, right at the end, was it 94th, 93rd minute? Brutal.
Yeah, I mean, we were 1-0 up minute 4 and we lost the game 94. That's just poor in every aspect. Really, really shocking today. I thought we were so below par in every department. Everything was so sloppy. We were just so void of accuracy and precision in our passes, in our attacks, defending at times poor. But, you know, the truth is, and a lot of fans are angry that Josh Acheampong was subbed off because potentially that counter-attack at the end he maybe contains and deals better with. But the truth is, even without that, Alex, the first half we were poor, second half we were poor. So either way, I think that game, it would have been a miracle to draw it in the end, actually.
Interesting that you say it was poor, because I think there's mixed reactions. Like, even me and MHL, the people I was talking with, we didn't get that impression that it was a poor performance or a poor game. Like, I thought to myself, from a neutral perspective, I think anyone's got this game. I didn't think Chelsea were terrible. I thought Sunderland were decent. So what made you think that it was poor? And start with the first half, because that's when we got our goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, we started off better, our attacks were better, we scored the goal, and actually I thought it's so important that we scored when we did, because Sunderland were always going to sit back after and make it difficult. You know, it's so difficult to play aerially against them. There's so much presence in that box defending. We know they make it hard. Even all their fixtures or results this season, they've been so narrow. It's so difficult to come out on top with a high goal difference. So I thought it's so important to get that goal early on, but then after, it's like our intensity dropped and they were so easily winning those one-on-one duels. I thought all over the pitch they were better than us in the one-on-ones, and that's where it was so easy for them to transition and make it difficult. But that equaliser, it's just so sloppy from us to concede that way, and then it's like they're playing with the self-esteem. A 1-1 draw away from home is a victory to them, but actually they did one better and they went and got all 3 points instead.
They're ahead of us in the table now.
They're second right now, momentarily, but yeah, and that's it's just such a missed opportunity for us to get points. And even had it been a draw, we still would have walked away feeling disappointed with what we did. But to talk about the first half, I thought it was really difficult, you know, to gel our front line. I thought we were trying so hard to attack from the flanks, and Joao, Pedro and Mark Gu were just pretty much out from the game because we just kept going wide as opposed to try and play through centrally, at least kind of break them down in that way, because they figured us out. Every time Neto was on the flank, he was just dribbling, passing it back into Reece James, spamming across, then Garnacho on the left, and it was just like, we need to try something different because you're shutting out 2 forwards from our game, and what are you going to try and achieve from that? So yeah, Joao, Pedro and Mark Gu probably had about 5 touches between them in the box in the first half, but I think we didn't even try and include them in any way. And I think that's also on our midfield, because I thought Caicedo had to drop deep a lot of the time, and Enzo was also out wide, so it meant that we could never really provide any service for Mark Gu and Joao Pedro down the middle. So it's like, yeah, you can blame them for being ineffective, but also what support or what kind of like creativity did they really get to get touches in there? But we were just trying the same thing and it wasn't working. You know, how many aerial crosses did we send in for no one to meet? I mean, Kukure and Enzo aren't going to get headers off, and it was just like the same thing on repeat, but it was poor in attack.
So interesting, when you talk about the middle of the park, you felt like that their midfield dominated us, which is very unusual in a lot of ways, because on paper we have arguably the best midfield in the league on paper, and that's including all the depth obviously, but Enzo and Caicedo have been pretty good this year.
Yeah, but I just think it was a struggle today. I think it really, really was, and again, it's like Enzo was pushed out wide so much, he couldn't really help us build up much, but it was just every time we did get to the final third, it was either the wrong pass, it was weighted wrong, or it was overhit, or it wasn't quite right, and it was just the same thing on repeat. Second half, I thought, again, we came out, but I just didn't feel that there was much urgency, to be honest, in our performance, Alex. Like the way we were playing, even opportunities where we could counter them, too slow, mate. Sunderland, any day of the week, are going to come out for those counters and they will make it difficult. Why couldn't we do the same today? Especially when you're coming out and you're chasing, a second goal there. You have to be on it, and we weren't. I thought we weren't. We were very complicit in a lot of the draws, and it just was too slow for me. The intensity wasn't there today, and it needed to be. Sunderland, theirs was, and I think we almost just fueled them in that second half. They were like, actually, a draw, yeah, we could get that, but it's a given here right now. I think we could go for that second goal here, and actually, you'd probably argue they deserved that one in the end. You looked at those 6 minutes of added time and you thought, that's not time for us, Alex. That's time for them. I just really felt it that way.
Even if you look at the first goal they scored, in the lead up to getting that long throw,
yes.
They won about 8 50-50s in a row.
Yeah.
8 duels straight away, and then they got the throw in, and then they won like another 2 or 3. I thought Robert Sanchez potentially could have come out, although I need to see replay. And I thought, this is just typical, isn't it? But then looking at that goal we conceded, at that time, I mean, this is just how I felt, I thought that's a bit harsh on our perspective. Like from a tactical point of view, I didn't feel like Sunderland were going to do much. I thought they were playing okay, but I thought that we were more than capable of winning that game the way we were playing. But from what you're saying, total opposite.
Yeah, because yes, you're right. The chances were there, the opportunities were there, but we just weren't convincing enough in those opportunities in attack. Do you know what I mean? And how many chances do you need to really put one of those away? Like in the second half, when we were piling it on, I just even thought like every time we had a corner, I didn't really feel like we could do much because what could we do? Do you know what I mean? Even the corners didn't give me any hope that we could actually get something off them. And
we weren't winning any of the headers for the corners.
No, none of them. Every single time Sunderland cleared them out, we weren't a threat from any set-piece play today. We weren't a threat from open play. There wasn't really much threat at all. How many times did we force their keeper into a save? Maybe twice when we struck down the middle and he gathered quite comfortably.
Chalobah had a shot outside the box.
That was tipped over the bar. Well, that's the problem though, isn't it, Alex? Exactly that. And Sunderland literally just one long ball over a whole bloody midfield, and Tosin and Chalobah just, what are they doing? It was literally like 3 seconds, 4 seconds just standing there watching him. Then he plays a lovely pass into whoever scored the goal, can't even remember anymore. But I think Reece was off position for that as well. He should have tracked back quicker. Our midfield should have tracked back. Everyone collectively. So that's the urgency. It's like the last few minutes we were like, you know what, we're not winning this. We'll take it. We'll take the draw. But lol, joke's on us because they scored.
I mean, I can't remember the last time that we had a late dagger like that, and I really felt... Because sometimes you know it's coming, but I didn't necessarily feel that way. I thought, there's a bit of hope. The momentum was on our side.
It was,
And then straight like that, bang, away ends pumping, and you see people start leaving their seats.
Yeah.
Understandably, when it's the 94th minute.
Yeah, but I just thought poor. Substitutions wise, I thought we all knew we wanted some changes. Esteval obviously came on. You know what Esteval has been like for us. He inspires a lot of change, but I think even he struggled. He was getting doubled up on. But look, Premier League teams have figured it out now. Esteval's not going to be a lone man for long. He is going to be exactly what Cole Palmer was. He's going to have players doubling up on him, and at times he didn't even have support. The next player closest to him was miles off on the other side. No one really coming in centrally to help him or do something. I thought it was just so lacklustre in regards to movement in the box. There really wasn't anyone coming up to help at some point. And then the crosses that we were hitting were just getting straight over to the other side, and everything was just so off in our attack. And then Josh being brought off, that was damaging. Josh, I thought, was the best player on the pitch today. He handled himself so well. One-on-one as well, you saw that slide tackle for Xhaka, which was really, really incredible. He's so composed, very chill, growing into his role perfectly. I thought he definitely has a full 90 in him. If he wasn't injured, there was no sort of cause for concern there. Why didn't you let him play the whole game? I just thought there was no need to disrupt the defensive line that way, and maybe Josh on a different day would have dealt with that counter better.
Well, I completely agree with you defensively. I think that I thought it was fantastic. I think the reason, if I'm trying to read Maresca's mind, that he made that sub is because we know Tosin's a ball-playing defender. So I think it was something to do with on the ball rather than off the ball. And listen, it might seem a bit meh, but that's just the only logical reason that comes to mind. Otherwise, why else would you make that change?
Maybe, yeah, or like
Maybe height
aerial.
for
That's what I was
set
gonna
pieces?
say. Yeah, but Josh is equally as tall. Josh is tall.
I don't know.
It sounds crazy that we're even talking about height right now, but yeah, I didn't think there was a reason for Josh to come on. And it was still odd, Alex, because yeah, Esteval came on, Andre Santos came on, but that was when we're 1-1. So you just brought on one attacking player. You brought Tyrick George on as well, but let's be real. I love Tyrick George. I think he's great, but it's a bit uninspiring when you're chasing a second goal and these are the substitutions that we're making.
Yeah, his first touch was a scuffed header. I think it hit his neck.
Great.
The ball came in. I'm not even joking when I say I do think Joao Pedro gets his head on that. I'm not saying he
Yeah.
scores. But I'm saying it's a clean connection.
Yeah.
And it was just frustrating. I didn't understand the subs. Andre Santos came on. Gittins came on.
Oh yeah, Gittins did come on.
I mean, I didn't. Look, what did you make of Garnacho coming off as well? Did you agree with that?
Yeah, Garnacho.
What did you make of his performance? Because he was so heavily criticised
Yeah.
at Forest.
I thought actually he was taking it upon himself to take shots off. Bar his goal, he also had another 2 opportunities where he did have a shot, and that's what you need really in some of those games. I think at times our attackers were also quite fearful to just take the shot where it was presented with an opportunity, because maybe, I don't know, we were fearful of getting hit on the counter subsequently. But I think again, it's like, just go for it, especially in the latter stages if you've got the opportunity. But I think there was just too much dilly-dallying with the ball at times, making the wrong decision with the pass or the cross, or just that final piece that you need to create something. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe Garnacho should have stayed on a little bit longer actually now in hindsight. He got his goal. He looked like he was playing with a bit of self-esteem. Maybe he would have got a bit greedy at the end though.
Yeah, I felt like he was getting worse as the game went on though.
Yeah,
He wasn't getting
yeah.
better. So from that perspective, I get it. But I don't know. That's not the thing that frustrated me. It was George. It was not really understanding. And I felt like we made a lot of substitutions at strange times when things are starting to click. And then you change it.
It's like he's just handing out minutes now left, right and centre, because there's so much to pick from. There's loads of players that are sort of coming off the back of a good game or good performance. You know, he's rewarding players like Mark Gue starting, for example, today. I think we all kind of vouched for that. We all wanted to see it. We said he was deserving of that. But again, I think I'm not solely going to blame Joao Pedro and Gue for their ineffectiveness today, because I just think team-wise and the way we were set up, they were just kind of left there. They were isolated down the middle, and it was all really down the flanks and nothing really there for them to do. But we should have tried and played through the middle a little bit more. I think that's what you have to do sometimes against a low block. You're already pulling them out wide. Use those opportunities to just quickly get across in and have someone like Joao Pedro and Mark Gue meeting them, because physically there is presence there, right? I just don't think it was utilised well today.
Do you think we're missing Palmer? Because you speak a lot about us going out to the wings.
Yeah.
If we don't have that presence in the middle, well, I mean, I quite like Joao Pedro, but obviously for whatever reason we weren't playing through him. Is that an area that maybe we're lacking, and that's why we're having to compensate going out wide?
I think so. I think there's never going to be a time where we say we don't miss Cole Palmer, right? It's the IQ, it's the creativity, and especially like partly Joao Pedro, why he was playing so well at the start was because he had Cole Palmer to link up with, and they had a nice dynamic there. There was a good chemistry forming between the two of them, and they played off each other. I think Joao Pedro hasn't really had that player that he's clicked with since obviously like the last few games. Obviously he had a suspension and stuff, but I just think that he needs someone to play off, and I think he was quite isolated in that game and nothing really there for him. I know people prefer to see him maybe in the 10 as opposed to up top, but I think it's so important who's in front and who's behind him, not really where he is playing so much.
What did you think of Sanchez? What did you make of his performance?
He did make some distributions out into Sunderland's players on a few occasions, and he put Josh under pressure, but Josh dealt well with that, so fair play to him.
You talk about the slow passes out from the back.
Yeah, those. And I just think sometimes I just want Sanchez to be the initiator of our counter-attacks, but he slows it down. He waits for everyone to get back, and then he's assessing his options, when to go, what to do. But sometimes, like you see with Sunderland, an overhead kick can go, well, a precise long kick can go a long way. But we didn't have the players up there. We didn't really have the players moving fast enough, I guess, for them.
He
was okay.
I think that Sanchez always tries to initiate counter-attack. I think that's partly the problem. Sometimes you want him to wait.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd agree with that point. But
did he even make saves today, though? Like, Sunderland didn't really have that many, bar the 2 goals.
He
They
made
didn't really
a
have
couple,
many.
but they weren't,
Yeah.
particularly hard. I think the main thing I want to see the replay on, which again I haven't seen the replay on, so let us know in the comments if we're wrong, is that first goal. I just felt like he could have maybe tried to go out and punch
Yeah, I
it.
think
That was the one thing. If we don't concede the first, there's a pretty good chance that we don't concede the second, but obviously we'll
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, definitely. I think positionally, though, we were all kind of off. We were caught off guard for the long throw in for the first one. I think everyone just wasn't in it. But that's the second goal we've conceded from an opportunity like that. So maybe it is causing concern and we need to work on that.
What's your take on fans who are already on Maresca's back again? I just got a text from a couple of mates saying
Really?
Maresca's not good enough. This is the problem, referencing the Achimpong substitution as an example.
Yeah, and we'd be interested to see what he has to say on that. I think I don't really want to do this right now, talk about Maresca. He's made mistakes. His in-game management has been poor in several Premier League games this season, but I also think today the players could have done so much more because he set us up the way we wanted to, right? No one really had a problem with the lineup. Yeah, one substitution, absolutely. But again, I think the players could have done so much more. We just looked lethargic and off par, and we didn't provide anything to really look like the more dangerous team. And the fact that you are saying it's so close in regards to how both sides played and they ran away with the win, that's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing.
What's your message to Chelsea fans after this loss?
Be positive, have hope, trust the process. No, all I'm saying is it's poor today. I think there's going to be a lot of concerns and questions raised, but we did just go on a 4-game winning streak. That's been hard to come by. Maybe we can build on that and just leave this result as a blip, and we can go on and win the next few games again. But it's still early. I know it's a bit crap because now it looks like we're maybe aiming for another top 4 race, which is not what we want with how other teams are playing, and we don't want to get left behind again because that's pressure. But I would rather have this bad result now and get into a bit of a good groove come mid-season, because remember we hit our bad spell kind of December. If we can be in a better place in December, then hopefully we can kick on, maybe have some reinforcements in January and hopefully finish the season off on a high.
There you go. Thanks so much, Nina.
Fresca!